welcome back. I'm not exactly sure what episode count this is, but I know it's our last. So I'm Madison Sherrill, and I am joined here with Anna Devereaux.
What's up, Niners?
As always, I have producer Brad.
Hey.
If you like what we're doing here, you can't listen for a while, but follow on Instagram and Twitter, X, and then follow and listen on YouTube and Spotify, because we'll be here next season too. So with us, we have Coach Courtney.
Hello.
We're back together.
It's been a minute.
I feel like we've missed so much. It's like we've been filling in the gaps with all the girls, and it's almost like we get the insider scoop. We know who really holds all the details.
I don't know about that. I thought the girls have done a great job. So I've enjoyed watching all of their episodes, and Bailey, Alyssa, everybody that's gotten on this year has done a great job. So it's been fun to see, and fun to see how the different episodes with the different people and girls are drastically different, which is awesome and definitely highlights their personalities.
That is 100% true. From person to person, I will say what's nice is I feel like every time we talked to a new person, when we got kind of serious, it felt like everyone had the same cohesive thoughts about the team, which was nice. I was like, oh, they're all on the same page for real.
You know, we don't say too many things different, I guess. We're all just kind of on the same page and just kind of trying to focus on one thing at a time. And I think that we did a good job of really coming together, especially as the season went on. I think it took a while for everybody to gel, and just, we had so many new people and different walks of life and different experiences to get here. And it did take a second, but we got there, and I thought we really gelled throughout the year.
I feel like Madison and I have talked about it a couple times, but anytime you'd tell us who was coming on, or, who was even if it was someone that her and I have had plenty of conversations with, it was like, oh, they'll probably be this way, or we could probably expect this. And for whatever reason, I feel like we just swung and missed literally every time. We were like, that was actually so much different than I thought it was going to be. Or like, every time.
Really? Well, yeah. You guys were always excited for the guests, so they were doing something right. And, again, I think it's funny to hear the girls when I'm like, hey, can you do this? And, like Jayla was all nervous about it, and then she was just a chatterbox, which is just typical her. I'm like, you're going to be fine. You know how to roll. And her and Sav were just laughing with each other. And, it was fun to see everybody's different personalities and just how they were able to kind of do the podcast and how they talked about the team. It was awesome.
Yeah. Sav and Jayla, I felt like they were hosting the podcast at one point.
Literally.
Like they were having a separate conversation in the room.
That's normal.
And I were like,
Madison and I were like, yeah.
Can we get it on this?
Yeah. Jayla was talking like we knew everybody she was talking about.
Oh, that's my favorite part.
I knew, but I don't know if everybody did.
No.
It was perfect. It was perfect. It just, like, to me, encapsulated each girl and kind of the team as a whole. And I think it's really cool that we have this platform with you guys doing this week in and week out, and that so many of our girls got a chance to get on here and show their personalities, but kind of talk about their experiences, how they got here, and just kind of what they feel like this program is about and what this team was about this year.
Definitely. I agree. I think too, for me, like one of the biggest takeaways when you think about just the different people we had on here, and how that wasn't even everybody on the team, but you just think about senior day and how Kari and Christina are the only two that you've graduated, and it's like, man, of course, those are really tough losses on the team, on Charlotte as a university, everything else, in terms of just being such a great contributing factors to the program. But how exciting is it that means everybody else is coming back, and like, I just think, to me, that's the coolest part, is like, okay, you guys get to just do this all over again.
I've said a lot in the last couple of days. I said it on my way to work. I was on the phone on the way to work. I said it today with my staff, which is weird to call my staff because they're just my best friends, but it's like, that's how I say it. But we were just talking. I'm like, I'm so glad we aren't looking for an entire team this summer. It is so nice to just be kind of zoned in on a few things, and obviously, how do we improve the roster for next year? Within the portal, obviously we've got some freshmen coming in, but it is so different than last summer. And really, we do have most of the team coming back. Obviously, Kari, Christina, we're huge for us this year. And Christina, in multiple years for the program, just played pivotal roles, played huge roles. I think it's pretty special that both Kari and Christina ended their careers on base hits in the tournament this year. And, for them to have those moments and just what they've done for the program, you can't kind of state it in, words. It's just their impact will be lasting, and just two great people that we'll miss. But exciting to kind of look forward and know that we have a lot of the team coming back, and we have a lot of the pieces, and we've gotten a ton of experience this year that's only going to help us get going forward.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that till you say that your summer looks a lot different than last year.
Yeah, seriously.
Considering I was hired here at Charlotte a month, like one more whole month.
From right now?
Yeah, today's the 21st, and I was hired on the 24th of June. So life looked a little different a year ago right now.
So what you're telling me is you can take the whole month of June off. You know what? Because you did it in 1 month before.
How about we get it done now? We take July and August off a little bit, but we'll see how it all plays out. But definitely a different feeling this summer, and just kind of not getting through year one, but finishing it, and being able to kind of see it from the other side now, and be able to reflect a little bit more than we've been able to throughout really since I got the job. It's been lightning speed, it seems.
Yeah, go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are most of the girls, I know everybody's kind of from all over in terms of home base, but do you guys kind of have any that are staying around the Charlotte area for the summer, or training with Eric, doing all that kind of stuff? Or what's the dynamic for the off season look like?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit mixed. We have some girls that are still around Charlotte right now that have been getting in the weight room. We saw some girls today just helping with a recruit on campus. And, I think it's cool that they want to be involved and they want to help sell the program. I think that speaks a lot to what they want to put into the program and what we're doing here. And so I think it just kind of ebbs and flows. Some people went home. Some people are going home, then coming back. Really their summer is theirs. I know a few of the girls are going down to the Florida Gulf Coast League to play. Some are staying more local and playing in a couple weekends just to see live pitching and do that. So I think it's kind of a mixed bag, but we still have some girls on campus and doing it. So, it's crazy to go from every single day you're seeing everybody, and then one day your season is over just like that. And, we travel home, and then that's the last time we're all kind of together in one spot. It's amazing how quickly it ends when it ends, but miss everybody already. And it's been good to see the girls and see them as they've been on campus, and excited to kind of keep up with them throughout the summer. And I'm sure we'll get down to the Florida Gulf Coast League, see some recruits, but see them pitch and play and just kind of getting their work in. So it's different being in the summer, but hopefully everybody is getting a little bit of downtime, a little bit of rest, and then going to get things wound up again.
I'm glad you said that, because I don't know if a lot of people understand the weirdness that comes with, like, oh, we're done.
This is it? Yeah.
So what are you guys doing tomorrow?
Yeah.
Like,
Going to the pool.
oh, that's the big one. That's the like, hey, anyone's pool open?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I know the girls today, they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, or I asked them that and they're like, I think we're going to go to the pool. Yeah. Shocker. But no, it's been good, but it's just crazy how it's like done. And then, you fly home and it's like people are trying to leave the next day. The freshmen are already getting kicked out of the dorms during the tournament. So,
Yeah.
Yes.
you can't help things.
Every year during the tournament, the dorm's like, hey, sorry, can't stay here.
Good luck. Find a place.
I've never understood that turnover period either of like, I could be so wrong, and if anybody knows more about housing that watched this than I do, please correct me. But I feel like they place athletes in specific dorms in kind of like a strategic manner, and I feel like so for that reason alone, then whenever they're faced with, either whether it's Christmas break or summer break, or there's got to be some kind of accommodation to that. For me, that's one of those things that's like, why has nobody come up with a resolution to this before? Like, we have faced this problem so many times. Someone's got to have something. But I mean, like I said, I don't work on the housing committee. Don't ask me questions. I'm asking the question. Someone's got to have a better answer than that. But who knows?
I hope someone who's in housing is listening to this right now, and I know they're pissed. They're like, she doesn't understand what goes into it. Like, there's
100%.
But I don't know. To your point, Anna, there's only a certain amount of people. Like, it's baseball and softball and track, I think, are the spring sports that go into like after the season. I'm like,
yeah.
Wouldn't you just take a tally of that? Like,
yeah.
And then been like, okay, they can stay X amount of time longer. I don't know, but it definitely was stressful as a freshman being like, oh, okay, so I'm in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and I'm supposed to be out of my dorm. So all my stuff's packed and I'm homeless.
And then not to mention like the sadness when you're losing and you're like, wait, and then I have to go home and I have to move in 24 hours and say bye to all my friends and move back in with my parents. Like, no disrespect, mom and dad, love you. I love living home. I will move home at 25. Don't threaten me with a good time. But it's just like, talk about a scenery change, and it all happens just like that. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
But
well,
housing tangent.
Hopefully someone's listening. They can give us more info. But you kind of touched on kind of having recruits, going in the portal, missing pieces. Don't give us a deep dive. Don't share everyone's secrets. But what are the missing pieces when you guys are recruiting in the portal and, you're like, okay, wait, we have these freshmen coming in. We need XYZ. What is that for, Charlotte? What are we looking for and to complete next season?
Yeah, I mean, I think that for us, you look at the roster and feel like we hit, feel like we pitched, feel like we can do everything. Really, it's just how do we add a couple key components to help us compete better and kind of get to that next step. I think that pitching is one of those spots, and we've been open with the girls with communication and kind of what our maybe, I don't know if it's philosophy, but I think pitching is one that you can never have enough of. And, I think that our pitching staff did a great job this year keeping us in games. We went from, again, I mean, we talked about this, like we went from 40 innings in Division I softball as a complete staff to getting through the entire season. And I think the experience that we got was so valuable to, our staff that's going to be here next year and beyond. But for us, we've got to get better there still, and we've got to limit free bases. We've got to, be able to execute in the strike zone and get more outs quicker and kind of give up less runs. And I think that on the flip side too, that goes to our defense. We've got to be better defensively as a team. And so I think that for us, pitching is everybody needs pitching, but that's kind of a big focus of ours. I think that, we can bring in an arm or two and really lengthen our staff, give us more depth, give us the ability to match up better at times. I think this year, we kind of just had to keep going with the arms that we had, and sometimes it didn't necessarily set them up to be the most successful. So just trying to diversify the staff and again find those impact kids that are really gonna elevate us. And I think you can look at the midweeks and how we competed there, and just the longevity through the season, being able to sustain that. And when we play 56 games, you've got to have a staff. You've got to have a staff to get through one game with an SEC opponent, an ACC opponent, a American opponent, and especially when you're playing 3-game series. So I think that that's an easy place that we're kind of looking to solidify and continue to grow. I think we've got 4 arms coming back from this year, and I feel confident in each of those options. And I think that they've been huge to what we were able to do this year, and have grown a lot. So definitely excited about kind of what that pitching staff will look like, and what Alyssa and all of the girls are going to have to kind of work through together. I think, catching is one. We had a lot of inexperience there as well. And I think Addison and Gracie and Liv, they all did a great job. It's just, finding somebody that has more experience. Hopefully we can get Liv where she doesn't have to get in the squat too much more. And, for us, just try to solidify that and, continue to work through. I think, we've got to replace Kari's bat in the lineup, and you're hoping that you can do that with with somebody in house or a freshman coming in. We've got four freshmen coming in. We've got a pitcher, we've got an outfielder and 2 infielders, 1 more corner, 1 more a middle-ish. And so I feel like we've got a lot of depth and range, and I feel like it is going to create more depth throughout the team. So I think solidifying that battery and just kind of giving us more options there to really, propel us through the entire year. And, you can't have enough arms, and you can't that battery's got to be really strong. That up the middle's got to be really strong. So I think that we feel really confident in the kids that are coming back, and their growth and development continuing to get better. But that's kind of what our focus is right now in the portal.
Yeah, that's awesome. What I was thinking, and same thing. But I really love what you said about it's not often about our pitchers and it's how they match up against teams, which I don't know why I've never heard that before, but I like the way you put that of it's always nice to have different options, because it's not every pitcher pitches the exact same. Their spin's not the same. They don't have the same favorite pitch, stuff like that. So that is huge of having multiple options. You can never have too many pitchers. I stand by that.
Definitely not. You don't see one pitcher or even 2 pitchers really making it to the end. You need a couple really solid options, and then a couple that kind of can, I don't know, not back them up, but just come in and create those matchups, create those stoppers, and just be able to work as a staff. I think that we, that's an area that I think that the pitchers would benefit for more arms and more quality arms. And I think as a team, we will too. We've got a prolific offense. We put up a lot of numbers, and one of the goals, and I've said this to pretty much everybody I've talked to in, our end of the year discussions and stuff, it's I want us to be able to score 5 or 6 runs and win 90% of those games. And this year, it's not just the pitching. I mentioned the defense. We just gave too many free bases away. We gave, too many outs away at times. And again, it was always going to be up and down. It's still going to be up and down. That's the game. That's kind of the nature of this. But how do we get better on defense? How do we continue to use the experience that we got this year to propel us into next year and make us better? And then how do we bring in just a few people to really take us to that next level? And when you bring in great people on and off the field, it elevates the team around them too. So we just want to keep getting better and find ways to improve next year. And we finished season strong, but how do we compete for that number one spot in the regular season, and how do we compete for that number one spot in the tournament? And I just I want to be playing next year at this time. I want to be in a regional. I'd love to. Why can't we be Liberty? I think that it's all about getting hot at the right time, having the arms, having the team, having the confidence.
I agree. I think too, like that. And I think you made comments about it a couple of times, but just in terms of, who the team was this year, and then you're projecting into who they're going to be and who you guys are going to look for to fill those spots. I even think you kind of look at the differential between who a player was this past season and who they have the potential to be this next season. You think about your team as a whole, and we were joking about, how at this time last year, you weren't even hired on as staff yet. And 365 days later, look where we sit. But I think kind of seems to be said for some of those players. I mean, you've got your Savannahs, London, Brooke, Tegan, everyone else who, played either a year before this or, has some experience under their belt by way of being an upperclassman. Like, I feel like we're just being put in such a good position for next year. And, I'm speaking it into existence, and I'm optimistic about it, about how these existing players are even going to be completely transformed into something better by the time we get to playing in a regional next year, and I think that's one of the exciting parts about it is like, look what you just accomplished. Look what this team just accomplished in a year's time. And it's like, oh my God, you get to do it all over again this time next year. And we're going to be having the same conversation. And I don't know, it gives you goosebumps, just talking about it. But it's kind of the excitement of what's to come. Like we just did all this. Why can't we do it again plus some, which I think is cool.
Yeah. I think too, we surprised a lot of people this year. Just because of where things were and kind of how the summer went. And we had a lot of people coming from a lot of different experiences, different backgrounds, and how they got here. And I think that you look at everybody, and in my view, I feel like everybody got better. I feel like we took a big jump, and individuals as a team. And my goal too is kind of, we can't be satisfied with what we did because we did surprise people, and, we feel like we had a good year. I want more, and I want the team to want more. I want the girls, the staff, everybody involved to want more than just what we were able to accomplish this year. We talked a lot throughout the year. We had to fight like crazy to get back to 500, just because the gauntlet that we started off the season in and where it was. But we fought like crazy to get to 500. And then when we got there, I talked a lot about just fighting to get to 30 wins. And, we hit that mark, and that's a mark that we want to always be at. But I want to be in, more than that. And we can't get satisfied because we did all improve, and that we did kind of maybe outperform other people's expectations of us. We can't be satisfied with that. We have to work still, and we have to put in the work, and we have to have that desire to let's go surprise people again. And, I think it's easier when you're not expected to do as much to exceed expectations than it is when you're expected to do well. And, can you do that? But I think that, very happy with how the team competed, with how the girls came together, with how we fought like crazy every game. There was really never a game that you felt like we were out of it. and just really proud of what we were able to do. But we can't be satisfied. We do, like, you know, right now we're sitting at 0-0 going into next year, and next year everybody's back to 0-0. You're hitting 0-0. You're fielding 1,000% until you're not. Like, you're back to that, and it's a new year and a new opportunity to prove yourself, prove it to other people, prove who Charlotte softball is, year in and year out, not just year one for me.
Yeah, I think that's a good statement to make, in a sense of, hey, yeah, we did great, but also nobody expected anything. We're way better than what we even did right now, and we're going to be better year over year.
Right.
Not just the complacency of like, oh, well, we were expected to be 8th and we were 3rd. So is that good enough for everyone? If we just do that every year, that's good, right? So it's nice to hear that it's always a push. And to Anna's point, I guess now that me and Anna are old alumni, I now have a new I have a new perspective of getting to watch girls like develop year over year. I guess when you're a player, you're in it. Like you don't see the change every year. You don't see it. And to that point, like only 2 girls graduating, I for some reason can't believe that all the girls that we know are still playing, and getting to watch them. And then now all the other girls that got brought in, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for next year. Mm-hmm. Like I can't wait to see what Jenna does next year, like, and all the other girls. But I'm just saying, like, player of the year, first year, I'm like, oh, great. So what's next year? It's going to be even better next year. So,
Madison, I don't know if you faced the same response when I tell my colleagues or just people in the work world, or even just some of my adult friends, like, oh, yeah, I'm still pretty connected to Charlotte softball, and that's because there's so many girls there that I have played with, or that I played with in the past. It's kind of this like, sorry, there's people on the team that you played with, and I'm like, yeah, and have more than 1 year left. And it's like I don't know, it's like this misconception of, I'm still a child, by the way, I'm still little. I'm not
that
totally
far removed.
Right. I'm like, man, guys, don't.
It gets weird when you haven't played with anybody.
Well,
right?
I have to remember, I never played with Liv, but it feels like I did.
Oh, 100% agree.
So I wonder if that'll just like continue, where like, okay, I didn't play with them, but I know them. And I think having them on here makes me feel like I know them so much better, which is like my goal for everyone listening, that they feel like they know players so much better. I think if you're a fan, sometimes you don't get to know like the real person behind, you just see the player. And sometimes I think players on the field are way different than they are in real life. And it just depends. Some of them I'm like, yep, you're exactly who you say you are. But sometimes when they're talking, you're like, wow, you on the field look so mean. And when you're talking, it's so funny.
Yeah.
That's like when Liv and Tegan were on here, I was like, why do I kind of feel like we were freshman year roommates? And then you remember that when I was a freshman, they were in, I don't know, 8th grade, maybe 7th. An absolutely horrifying concept when you think about it.
You're gonna have to stop because it only gets worse.
I was gonna say you're on a slippery slope and you've got to stop.
I can't. You're right. I'm gonna send myself into a spiral.
Well, I feel like now the girls say, or I'll say, oh, this song, when the songs come on, this song's my freshman year in college. And they're like, I was in kindergarten or something crazy. And you're like, wow, is it really? And it is.
Mm-hmm. You're like, was it that year? I don't think so.
That seems weird.
But then I like Uno reverse that on people in my office and stuff, where someone's like, yeah, I graduated college in 2003. And I was like, I was 4. So
yeah, you keep enjoying that.
I do. It's like, oh, this song came out and I was like, oh, I wasn't born yet. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, never heard that before.
Sorry, I'm young. And then one day we're going to look back on this and be like, oh, we were so young, and we're going to be very far past.
It happens quick, I'll tell you.
I don't know. Courtney, you and your whole staff are just so like young in my eyes.
Yeah.
I feel like we're the same age. We're not. But I'm like, we might be.
Well, my staff is more your age.
That feels right. They're young. I when I came to college, I always played for old men my entire life. Like always like a dad or like an older guy. I played for a guy in high school who literally was 80, like 80 years old. And I told myself, I was like, I'm not going to play for some old coach. Like I can't do it. So I really love seeing, obviously the staff I played for was super young. And then now having you guys, I'm like, oh, they're so young and hip. I love it.
I mean, I think we just, it's fun to have a staff that's all young and that, we all get along and just, I feel like we just mess around all day is basically what we do. I mean, anybody that's around us or has been up to the office lately knows that we're pretty much just shooting hoops. We've got our little hoop. Bailey brought it to the tournament with us. I mean, we were shooting hoops in the hotel room, getting ready for that. I guess it didn't work, so it's banned now. But I mean, we're having fun and we're trying to just, I don't know, show that you can be loose and like play the game in that way. And it doesn't have to be like all so serious and intense because the game is when you're in it, but you can kind of play loose and kind of, I don't know, not have to be tense all the time, I guess.
No, I agree. I think there is something though, and we've said it on here before, and every single girl that's come on this season has said the same thing about how having a personal connection with your coaches and a staff who doesn't feel, there's a level of respect, but it doesn't feel like every piece of advice you get from them is a lecture. It doesn't feel there's this mutual understanding and this mutual respect of like, hey, I was you before, we've all been this before. We've been here before, and I think that just goes such a long way. And you could tell by every single girl that was on here and the way they speak so highly of you guys and the way they speak so highly about the way you all speak to them is just that you guys really, of course you guys have this fun dynamic between each other, but it's so obvious that you guys have such a fun and playful dynamic with your players. And I am a firm believer that that's such a huge contributing factor as to why you guys are so successful this season. And, I think that's just part of it, which is awesome. So well done. Kudos to you, Coach.
No, I appreciate that a lot. And, for me, I think one of the coolest parts about kind of stepping into this head coaching role is being able to see my staff, my people, and just like my best friends interact with the girls. Just kind of what they bring every day to the field, to the office. And it's just that part's been really, really special for me. And to see their growth and to see what, how much they've poured into the team, how much they've poured into each individual, whether that's Alyssa with her pitchers, but Alyssa, throughout the whole team has those relationships and, Jake with his outfielders or, any of the hitters. It's just, Bailey coming in and really helping with the infield and doing whatever we need and really getting our food and getting all of our travel situated. It's just been really, really cool, really rewarding to see just, their level of, I don't know, just how they carry themselves every day and create those relationships and push the girls when they need to be pushed, but also give them love when they need to when they need that. And I think it's just been really special to see. And, I feel definitely like they are the biggest reason that we've had so much success is just the type of work that they've put in throughout the year and, individual sessions, team sessions, whatever it is, like they've all gone above and beyond. And it's been very special to watch and just something that I have a lot of pride in.
That's a cool perspective.
Yeah. Sorry, Madison, I know you probably have something way more important to say, but just in reference to Bailey alone. So I know she's kind of serving as a kind of a unique role of director of ops, but she's still helping with a lot of on-field stuff and everything. What does kind of this next season hold in terms of her? Is she kind of going to still be fulfilling the same role, or has she talked anything about kind of branching out in her duties, or what's that look like for her?
Yeah, honestly, we haven't had a whole lot of conversations within the staff about like what's next. It's been kind of filtering out of this season and then filtering into the transfers and getting there,
Sure.
kind of switching into the recruiting mindset right away. I definitely think, for us, Bailey serves that dual purpose. I mean, her role is director of operations, but just because we have 2 paid coaches rather than 3, she's in that role that she can coach. I know she wants to get rid of the food. I know that she's like, I'm good doing anything except for the food. I hate that. And I feel like most director of ops would say that, or most people dealing with the food would say that. But I think that she's done an incredible job. I mean, she was not here with us in the fall. She stepped in January and had to figure out what travel stuff was booked, what was correct, what was not correct, what we were going to do. She was helping on the field. She has done so much in the time that she was given, and just like, hey, we start season in 5 weeks. And we're traveling. I think we had 8 trips that we took flights. Like, it was bananas. So, I don't know kind of exactly what that looks like. I envision it being similar, and, helping even more with the infield. I think that, I've talked with the whole staff. We've talked together just about like how we want to be more intentional, maybe with the infield or just with the defense in general. And I think it's a whole team aspect. Like, how do we step up our coaching to help our team step up and just elevate ourselves? I think we definitely got on the girls this year, but it was a major positive, encouraging type of year in a building confidence in the team, every individual, everybody. And so there was probably more of the building confidence rather than the jump down your throat. And it's not going to necessarily be that. But I've heard from every person in our meetings that they responded well when we got on them. And I saw that too throughout the year, when it happened, or in some of those moments. And I think that, that's part of the reflection of the year, and maybe the looking forward. What do we have to get better at? I think just getting a little bit tougher, getting a little bit grittier. I mean, I think we had that in different ways, but it's just how do we kind of continue to improve? And that's a part of it. So I don't know specifically yet what that will look like, but we will have conversations throughout the summer, and really as we get closer into the fall, and kind of work on what that fall plan is going to look like, what is going to be similar, what's going to change a little bit, tweak. I mean, I don't see like big changes, wholesale changes at all. Like, I feel like what we did worked and was went well. There's just things. How do we make the team better? How do we make ourselves better? How do we put each individual in a better position to have success going forward?
Your question was way better than mine, Anna. That helps. And I'd like to make a note to everyone listening. Can you imagine trying to find a food place that accommodates 20 to 30 people and their food preferences in a random city that you're going to for about 72 hours? I couldn't.
My worst nightmare.
Yes.
And then it cancels on you last minute. There were a couple of those where I just like, I mean, it's in the game, and she's, she was helping Alyssa and doing her stuff in the game. And all of a sudden she's like, our food just canceled. And then it's, so it's just, I know it's a headache. It's a pain for anybody to do it. She does a great job. She kind of gets it, hey, I don't think I don't know. They wouldn't complain to me. They'd complain to her more. But Bailey is also very picky. So she would have to, she's getting it done. And then she would be like, hey guys, what do you think? Do you like this option or more of this and whatever? And so we'd help her out a little bit, but she did a great job getting into the operations side of things and making sure. I mean, we had 2 flights, both our flights from Tulsa and Wichita were foobarred, if you will, just like so messed up and literally having to cancel the flights and move the flights and do all of this. And the conference tournament, we ended up flying back on 2 flights. We were all on one, and that flight got canceled we were on a 7 a.m. flight on the morning after the game, and it got canceled at like 10 p.m. And so she's like, da, 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 da. And so we ended up being on 2 flights. And the early flight got delayed so much that we were 5 minutes behind each other. We took off and landed 5 minutes. Like, we landed, then they landed. It was, we didn't have to figure out rides.
You guys better.
Yeah.
God bless Bailey. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. She's doing the Lord's work.
Yeah.
I can't even navigate booking 1 flight for myself. I cannot imagine 40.
Yeah.
So
making sure everybody has a flight, can't leave anybody behind. That would be bad.
Bad look. That's a bad look.
That's really bad.
That's pretty bad. See, Anna, my thing's not the flight issue. Mine's the picking food. What do you mean I gotta pick food months in advance? That's crazy.
Honestly, she didn't have months. She was doing it like
You're right, she had days.
Before or the week of, like she was just
hours.
Bailey would do it the night of even, or like the night of the next day. She's like, boom, and just food would appear. I mean, she got it done quick, so good for her.
Yeah, good for her. Because I'm honest with you, I can't eat a Jersey Mike's sub, a Jimmy John sub. I struggle with tropical smoothies sometimes still.
Really?
And because those foods are just, they're the go-tos.
I would say, I mean, honestly, and we try to be smart. Like, we got lunch for the girls early on, and then they just weren't eating it. They were just door dashing anyway. So it was like, we'll just give them lunch per diem. So that helped things too. Is just like, do that, order some smoothies, and then we're good.
Mm-hmm. She's thinking smarter, not harder. I like that.
Well, why get food if they're not going to eat it?
I wish more people would think like that. Because I'd like to know the amount of food.
I hate wasting food.
The amount of food waste that athletes in the NCAA do, I would hate to see the number on that.
It'd be a lot.
Yeah. Well, enough with the food. I did want to hear a little bit before we wrap up, about the freshmen coming in. I have no idea anything about them. Could you kind of give us some insight on the 4, I think you said? Yeah.
So I got to make sure I do this right. But so we've got 4. We have a pitcher from Alabama coming in. She's on a Bolts team. You put me on the spot.
You don't have to give me where they're from. I just wanted to know a little bit more about them, I guess. You don't even know their blood type or anything. I
wouldn't know that. No, just we've got a pitcher coming in from Alabama, and she's somebody that was previously committed. When we took the job, she's the one that stayed in the 25 class. But great family, great person, and just excited to have her. We have a corner, kind of first base, third base, from South Carolina. Melanie, I guess I should say their name. Brianna is the pitcher, and then Melanie is from South Carolina. So power hitter, righty stick, tall kid, just kind of growing into herself, and excited about her. We've got Carly Keller, who is from Indiana. She plays on a Fury team now. And she's I think she can kind of play a little bit everywhere. She's lefty. She can hit, she can slap, she can bunt. She is, can move all over on the infield, middle infield, corner, play outfield. So just somebody that'll give us some flexibility. And then our last one is Chloe. She was committed to Texas Tech, kind of like Jenna. And in the summer, like at the end of the summer, I got a call about her being, decommitting. And my friend from San Diego State was like, I love this kid. We just don't have space for her. You should do it. She came to camp, and just like that, it kind of worked out. So she's a lefty hitter. outfielder, and from Texas. So we're excited about all 4 coming in, and definitely feel like, they've got the ability to come make an impact right away and provide a lot of depth for us going forward.
Some out-of-state love. I love to see it.
All of it. We've got some 26s in state, but nobody in this class. So
I love to see it. Sorry, Anna.
Hey, look, as the in-stater, I love when the out-of-staters come because that means I get to host them for Easter, Madison.
There you go.
Thanksgiving, Madison.
I spent a lot of holidays with Anna.
And it was my favorite thing ever.
It's great though when you can get out-of-state kids, and once you get them on campus, they fall in love. Charlotte's an easy place to travel to get to, and there's a lot going for it. So definitely excited to get them all here and to kind of get going.
That's a huge selling point. I would like to say, as an out-of-stater, if you need a reference, let them call me. The Charlotte airport is a hub for literally everything. There's directs from every airport, and you're also 15 minutes from campus. My parents will rave about this, that you could go somewhere else. Let's say it's only, a little bit shorter, but your airport's an hour and a half away. So you got to drive another hour and a half. Huge selling point.
Well, I'll say, like, this year traveling, like I said, we had 8 flights. We ended up taking direct flights to every spot we went. We went to, I don't even know where to start. Baton Rouge, we took a direct flight. We flew back direct from New Orleans. Like, we took a direct flight to Tampa. The only ones that were messy, we took a direct flight to Tulsa, but on the way back, we weren't going to be able to take a direct because the flight was too early. But that was bad weather. We ended up taking a direct the next morning. Wichita, we had to drive to Oklahoma City, or drive from Oklahoma City and to Tulsa, but took a direct. So we were direct everywhere. And or Dallas, we went to all these places, and it's direct. And especially when we deadhead, I mean, we would leave campus 2 hours before our flight was leaving and just get there, go. Even when we had bags, we didn't have to get there that early. Like, it's a game changer. And I will just say, because this is where I came from, Clemson, we drove to Atlanta, we drove to Charlotte, to get direct flights. There is a airport in Greenville, and that's still an hour drive from Clemson, and then you're taking maybe a direct if you're going to Florida or something. So the travel was definitely I would prefer not that many flights, not that many away trips. And gosh, we killed the Midwest this year, but I definitely would vouch for, you can take a direct flight from pretty much anywhere from the Charlotte airport, which was pretty amazing.
I remember us we got home late from, I don't know, who knows where. And I just remember being at baggage claim, and we ran into I think it was the App State softball team. And we were like, I think they were on our same flight. And it was past midnight. Everyone's exhausted. And we got to talking to some of them. They're like, yeah, but you guys get to go home. We got to get on a bus and drive over 2 hours back to Boone. And you're like, oh, hate that for you.
We went to Virginia Tech this year on a midweek, and that was a good 2.5 hours. I was asking them, like, where do you guys usually fly out of? Charlotte. Tough.
It is.
But it happens.
I was going to say, just to prove how good you got it. Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of how good we got it, this is the last time I'll ask, maybe, because hopefully it'll have to be the last time I ask. The new facility.
Yes.
When are we doors open?
Pretty soon.
Okay.
It got signed over to us this week. So we have control of the building. We just are getting, it's still processed now, but we're getting furniture. We're getting the lockers delivered soon. We're getting graphics early June-ish, and we'll kind of go from there. So by the time the girls get back in August, it's going to be ready to roll. So we're pumped. The girls have seen it, just wanted to show it to them when, we were as a team. So they saw it with nothing in it and no lockers. So they know the layout, they know what it looks like. But really excited to get them in the space. They're antsy, I will say. They are just ready to go and move in. So I know that they're excited. We're very excited. Our offices as a staff, we're in the baseball thing. We all look at each other every day. I don't know what we're gonna do when we have our own offices. We're gonna have
When you can close the door on each other.
we're gonna have severe separation anxiety. I think, like, at first when I got here, I'm like, I cannot believe I don't have an office. Like, I can't think. And now it's like, what are we gonna do without each other? We'll all just be hanging out in each other's offices. There's no question about it.
I was gonna say, isn't there a main like the main room? Is that still a thing? I don't know. I can't remember what the layout is, but I know there's like a bigger room. I can imagine you guys being like, hey, so this is our office now. We all have a big room and we're all together again.
Yeah. Well, my office has the conference table in it. So it's like the conference room and the head, like, it got combined. So there's going to be a lot of seating in my office. So it's always open to anybody that wants to come in and hang out and shoot hoops.
I love that you put that out on the world, that Niner Nation's allowed to just come by your office whenever.
Anytime, honestly. Come on, knock on the window. I'll be there and I'll be like, okay, hey, come in.
The first people to do that is me and Anna.
I was just about to say, whenever you're ready for us to come for an official tour, you let me know, because I've had overwhelming temptations to just walk in there myself. So
I take walks. I take walks on campus. Let me tell you, Courtney, I've walked past it and I've gone, I wonder if the door's open.
Yeah. Maybe try.
Maybe if I just pull.
How much trouble would I get in?
What are they going to do?
I got connections. Maybe they won't press charges. We'll see.
Yeah. No, it should be ready soon. So hopefully in June or July, we can get you guys in there for a good tour. We got to try to keep once we're in there, we got to try to keep the locker room at least under wraps until everybody gets in.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. We got to figure it out. It's just the timing is a little off for, like, I mean, we're bringing recruits in and they're going to see it, but we'll see kind of how it goes.
Yeah. Until you have everything in there, though, like, even when you walk in a locker room and no one's in there and there's like no stuff, it doesn't feel as cool. But when you're all as a team walking in, there's stuff in there and stuff, it just feels a little better.
It's going to feel different, but the space felt pretty cool.
Well, you mean having one locker room? That's
just the openness, just like, it's big. It's not this big. The food is in a better spot, shall we say.
We'll keep it under wraps, but we both know what you mean.
Yep.
So it's very exciting. Everybody's pumped and the building looks great. I think, Jones is kind of the main guy that's been there. He's been awesome. Cass has been working really hard with it and just getting it all set up. So Mike, Taylor, Eric, everybody that's kind of put their time and effort into it and getting it ready. Just super appreciative. And we are very excited to get in and get using it. It's going to be really a game changer for us and the program. And I think I said it at some point, I'm just excited to be closer to the girls on a day-to-day basis, not at practice. So, I mean, they have to make a real effort to come up to the baseball office, and we have to make an effort to go down. So just going to be excited to be closer to the field, all the things, the indoor. It's going to be closer to my parking spot.
Perfect.
Oh, yes, your designated one. How exciting. Walking distance.
It is very close. So I won't have to worry about getting ticketed anymore.
Not Pat's coming for you.
Oh,
do they really?
Oh, for sure.
So shout out to housing. We have questions for you and Pat's, I guess.
Totally.
Yeah. I hope that they reach out with some answers, because we're itching for them at this point. But oh well.
Yeah.
But no, between the recruiting you guys got going on, the freshmen coming in, the indoor new locker room with the doors about to open, there's so much exciting stuff. And like I said earlier, I just think about where you were 365 days ago, and just the promise for this next season and this next team. So on behalf of everyone, the entirety of Niner Nation, we thank you seriously, your whole team, your whole staff. I mean, just for representing this program and this university so well all season long. So I'm excited, and I know everybody else is too. So seriously, thank you.
Well, thank you. That means a lot. That means a lot. And it's been special to do this with you guys week in and week out. And your investment into the program is seen and it's felt. You guys, Nick, Kevin, Brad, everybody that is involved in this podcast. It's very cool to be able to do this and to be able to highlight our program in this way. And really just all year, just thankful for the support of, our admin, thankful for the support of Niner Nation, and just, letting this team kind of take take ownership of themselves and just, be supportive throughout the season. The gold mine, everybody that was, coming to the games. I wish that we had more home games this year so that we could have been in front of the crowd. And I promise that's going to get better next year. I know we're going to have more weekends and an exciting schedule at home. And just really thankful for everybody that's been a part of Charlotte softball and just helping us get to where we were, because it was a group effort for sure. And just thank you and all alumni that have supported us throughout the year. We're really excited for where we're headed, and we just got to keep on pushing.
Well, you've definitely given the people a reason to keep coming back and to want more and to come back watching more next year. So I'm sure we'll see even more of a support system, especially on our behalf. So, but no, thank you. And thanks all of Niner Nation for following along for such an exciting 2025 season with your Diamond Niner gals. And of course, keep up with us over the summer, any kind of fun recruiting they got going on. You'll see it all over Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, never TikTok. And that'll do it for us. So go Niners as always, and we'll see you guys back next season.
Go Niners.
We got it. Go Niners.